The third time that Jesus appears after his crucifixion is told in the Gospel of John, chapter 20, verses 24 to 29. John tells us of Thomas and his doubts. Thomas had not been with the others when Jesus appeared to them, and so refused to believe what they were saying when they told him that they had seen the Lord. He said, "I not only need to see him, I need to put my fingers in the holes the nails made in his hands." And there is even the saying, "Doubting Thomas," which directly references back to this Bible story. A doubting Thomas being a skeptic, refusing to believe in anything without a direct personal experience to relate to. So it's all too easy to see this as a story about a man whose doubts were stronger than his belief. But just imagine for a moment. You are a member of a club, perhaps a local golf club, a bridge club, maybe a choir or a sports club, perhaps even a ukulele club, and a prominent committee member dies. You're sad. You write a letter of condolence to the grieving family. Possibly organise a collection to buy flowers to go on the casket. And you attend the funeral. You may start to wonder how the club will continue without somebody stepping up to fill the vacant position. Then you start getting phone calls. "I've just seen the late chairman," or whatever, "walking their dog in the park." Now, I don't know about you, but I think my reaction would be something like, "Well, I'll believe that if he or she turns up at the next committee meeting." But I don't believe that this story is really about Thomas's doubts, as true and as understandable as they were. I believe the true message here is about Jesus. In verse 26 we read, "A week later the disciples were together again indoors, and Thomas was with them. Jesus came and stood among them and said, 'Peace be with you.' Then he said to Thomas, 'Put your finger here and look at my hands. Stop your doubting and believe.'" Now notice, Jesus didn't need to be told of Thomas's doubts. He already knew them. He appeared to Thomas to specifically take his doubts away. There's no sense that Jesus is angry about Thomas's doubts, no sense of disappointment or of betrayal. Jesus was even prepared to let Thomas touch his wounds if that would help. Jesus just wanted to reassure Thomas and build his faith back up again. It's probably the fact that Thomas had trouble getting his head around Jesus being seen alive, but he had also recently witnessed his close friend die in a cruel and painful way. He had seen acts of political intrigue, racial injustice, and the people governing his country, the Romans, were persecuting and oppressing people on a large scale. And on a personal level, he had missed out on an important event that all his friends had attended and were telling him about, and he had trouble believing. Aren't these the sort of events that are still happening today, all across the world? And to make matters worse, are constantly reported in the mass media news programmes. So it's not surprising if there are times in our own lives when perhaps we wonder briefly, where is God in all this? Like Thomas, we doubt. But if we look at the way Jesus responded to Thomas, we can take comfort from the knowledge that Jesus accepts we will have periods of doubt and that we're not perfect And if we let him, he will reassure us of his presence and his love for us. And if we look around us at this time of the year, as the spring flowers break through the soil and the trees start to produce new leaves, that surely is a sign from God that he's caring for us. In the end, Thomas didn't need to touch the wounds. His doubts disappeared and he answered, "My Lord and my God." In saying that, doubting Thomas became the first disciple to put into words the truth that Jesus is indeed both Lord and God. And it is considered to be the greatest confession of faith recorded anywhere in the Bible. Jesus replied to Thomas, "Do you believe because you see me? Blessed are those who believe without seeing me." And that is Jesus giving his blessing to you and me if we believe that Jesus is Lord. We're not able to see him face to face yet, as Thomas did. But if we believe that Jesus is my Lord and my God, then he has promised to bless us. And what better Easter message could you get than that from the risen Lord? Vanessa and I wish you all a very happy Easter.